let's get right into it. Brett Favre situation. And what I want to say about the Brett Favre situation, you all know I can't stand the guy. He's an egotistical maniac as far as I'm concerned. He has a midlife crisis every year. The end of the football season comes. But talk about a franchise crumbling. Talk about a franchise holding their own until this guy boarded the plane and they pulled a complete 180. So if you want to ask the question, who has more power, Brett Favre or the Green Bay Packers, the answer is easily Brett Favre. And I would like to apologize to Brett Favre. If you guys go back to a couple videos ago, you'll see a video I did saying that Brett Favre sucks and that he held his team hostage and all this stuff. But you know what? At the end of the day, it worked.
That's right.
Everything this guy did worked to a T. He played the Green Bay Packers like a fiddle. If I were the Green Bay Packer organization, I would be completely embarrassed on you want to talk about Brett Favre or Obama flip-flopping? The Green Bay Packers, you guys flip-flop more than Obama could on Iraq, for God's sakes. I mean, Aaron Rodgers is the starting quarterback. Aaron Rodgers is the starting quarterback. Aaron Rodgers is the starting quarterback. We're going to keep this tone up, all the way up until Brett Favre calls our bluff and actually gets on the plane to go to Monday morning practice at Green Bay, and then we're going to say it's an open quarterback competition spot. You know, the Green Bay Packer fans should be embarrassed. This poor kid, Aaron Rodgers, is getting the shaft again. If I'm Aaron Rodgers and I don't get the starting quarterback job this year, I'm not playing on the Green Bay Packers anymore. This is it. I'm holding it out.
That's funny. There's obviously a video that this guy did on YouTube a couple of years ago. And funny thing is, I'm sure that the guy that did that video never freaking saw this happening the way that it did. Brett Favre goes to the Vikings. Brett Favre has a very successful season with the Vikings. Brad Childress closed the deal. He looks like an absolute genius. And you guys who predicted that Favre couldn't play anymore, that he would screw up the Vikings, that he would throw interceptions and he doesn't fit their team, they just want to run the ball with AP all day, you guys look like complete idiots. Some of you are trying to change your tune now. Look at this guy. Phenomenal. Perfectly thrown ball, man. Wow. How many of you picked the Cowboys last week and Brett Favre carved them up for 4 touchdowns? Anyway, it was Aaron Rodgers holding on to the ball against the Cardinals in overtime that got his ass sacked. He fumbles the ball. Keystone Cops kick the ball up in the air right into the arms of a waiting Cardinal defensive player, and the defensive player takes it in for the touchdown. Game over, season over. So it was Aaron Rodgers who cost them the season late in the season. Not Brett Favre. Not Brett Favre. You want to talk about Brett Favre's interception cost them from going to the Super Bowl? Well, Aaron Rodgers holding onto the ball, getting sacked and fumbling the ball, trying to pump fake it, not sure what he wants to do, and drops the ball in the overtime against the Cardinals, and that cost them the season. Which, you know, that's how the cookie crumbles, man. That's how it goes. Aaron Rodgers' career will always live in the shadow of Brett Favre. If he never wins a championship, if he never gets that team to the NFC Championship, he will always be reminded about Brett Favre. Okay? Because until you guys win something with Aaron Rodgers, a playoff game, go deep into the playoffs, Mike McCarthy and Ted Thompson, you're going to continue to look like idiots. And whether you guys want to admit it or not, that number 4 right now is making you guys look like, what the hell did we do by letting this guy go? What the hell did we do? if he retires this year after winning a Super Bowl, there's talk that, the Vikings will go after McNabb or another big free agent acquisition. Well, Brad Childress, he's a go-getter, man. He's a deal closer. And if he goes and gets another, quarterback that's capable, Aaron Rodgers will be sitting home from now on. I believe Jay Cutler is getting better. He showed promise at the end of the year. Yeah, he throws interceptions, and he's playing for a team that has no freaking receivers, no running game, He's a great quarterback, Jay Cutler is. And remember that I said this because he showed me something against the Vikings this year. And he's going to turn his career around. Trust me. Everybody was thinking that Orton and the Denver Broncos, everybody, the only three teams that have been consistent that you expected to be there in the end is Indianapolis, Minnesota, and New Orleans. And they're all still there. Everybody else has played inconsistent throughout the year. You didn't know who was going to be there. Look at that. 4 touchdown passes today, postseason career high. You didn't know who was going to be there. You expected Minnesota to be there. You expected New Orleans to be there. You expected Indianapolis to be there. The only surprise is the Jets. And, I, like everybody else, did not believe that the Jets would beat the teams that they have beaten. Of course, their little Cinderella story will be over this weekend when they play the Colts in the game that means something. But, I attribute that to the fact that everybody else is really inconsistent. From New England to Miami to Baltimore to Denver. The Chargers looked like they were going to do something there for a second, but they did the same thing the Chargers do every year, and that's choke. So Brett Favre has done what, when they were sitting 7-1 and had kicked the Packers' ass twice, he's sitting in the place that everybody expected him to be. But before the season started, he's going to start off strong, and he's going to falter at the end of the season. He's going to cost them the season. He's going to mess it up for the Vikings. He's going to... JLB Sports, you know all the stuff that you said. Be a man, Mr. Sports TV show, Mr. Sports wannabe commentator, and admit to what you said. Be a man, and for the second or third time this year, make a video and apologize to Favre. Because you were wrong again. It's going to the Super Bowl, Packer fans. Guess who's going to the Super Bowl? Number 4, not number 12, and not the green and gold. Sit back at home with the rest of the Packer Nation and enjoy Brett Favre this weekend, as you have done for the past 20 years.